Okay, folks, this is my third book review, sci-fi review. Before I start, let me say that I am sick, so if I sound or look horrible, I am horrible. Okay. This is going to be about Trader's World. Small summary of the plot. Basically, the main character, Mike, and a few other characters are trainees. They're being taught about diplomacy and how to deal with other cultures. And therefore, the series of stories in the book are them dealing with different cultures, different nations of the earth, and growing as people, growing as traders, and simply growing and learning. There's three reasons I really love this book. First one is world building.
Now, the world is divided into multiple regions, obviously, as in the real world. Many of the regions have different cultures, and this means that the author has a lot of world building going on in this story. Or I should say, multiple stories. Many of the characters are going to have to visit these regions every few chapters, so you get a lot of small story arches. The end result is a lot of character development, a lot of action, in a very small book, really. Now, the second reason I like this book is because of, well, the character development.
The character development is pretty wonderful. Even characters from different settings they go to have different motivations. They're not always going to be against the trainees. They're sometimes willing to work with the trainers from the organization. But obviously, they all have their own reason for doing so. It does make for a sometimes complex story, even though the story itself might only take up a few chapters. Once again, the story arches all add together, though you could read them separately if you wanted to. I don't think they really would be considered standalone. But it does make it for a very good book on a plane or a vacation where you might not get 3 or 4 hours to read the whole book. The third thing that really I enjoy of this book is the way they handle the science.
We're talking about artificial intelligence, neo-technology, genetic engineering, all things that in the 80s were very uh, important to people reading science fiction, very exciting subjects, and they still are. In fact, nowadays, we've advanced so much in these fields that we're dealing with the ethics of dealing with genetic engineering and nanotechnology and such and so on. So it's a book that's still, I think, powerful, not outdated. Even the artwork, if you could see this, is pretty good for 80s or even a 20th century cover. And I think it's something that you'd still enjoy reading today again and again.
The end result is a sci-fi novel where the science is not always in your face, the characters are not all-knowing, all-powerful, but they're not flawed, alcoholic, chain-smoking people either. And a book that you can read all in one day or over a week, depending on your mood and how well you feel. I would suggest this, especially because you're probably going to be able to pick it up in a used bookstore for a buck or two. And it's one of those things that if you don't know the author, once you read this book, you'll probably want to read other books by him. He's not as well known, but his books aren't that rare, and he's really a good writer. Okay? Thanks for watching.